Welcome to Lighten Up Talk Radio with Michael Lott,
Lee Snider,
and Michael Braswell.
Join us with topics that wake up the connection to the real you. You can listen to us at lightenuptalkradio.com. Hello, kids. This is Michael Lott, and welcome to Lighten Up Talk Radio. It's Sunday, January the 20th, and I'm here with Lee Snider and Michael Braswell. How are you all doing?
Doing really well.
How are you doing, kids?
Doing great, thank you.
Awesome. Can you go any deeper than that?
How much deeper do you need for me to feel really well?
How was your week?
Great, terrific, wonderful, lovely, and all the above. My week has been wonderful. It's been a very good week. Every day's been a little different. A lot of energy surges going on within me, and a lot of fun. I think the snow has really lightened me up this year. I just really liked having the first snow.
Oh, yeah.
It was beautiful
fun.
out here.
It
beautiful.
was.
Mm-hmm.
Fun to have our first Tennessee snow of the year.
It was great. It really was. It was gorgeous.
Won't be our last.
Well, that's exciting.
How was your week, Mr. Braswell?
My week was challenging. I think I was tested this whole week. Low energy, weird dreams, a lot of movement and activity in my room. Went to Belk's, had a wonderful sale. I spent $61 and saved $150. But anyway, I picked up some kind of spirit there and brought it back, and really knocked me down. I was going to have to go to bed, so I sat down in a chair, looking out at the pond through a glass door, and all of a sudden, 6 spirits just appeared, 2 angels and 4 others. And later, when I got up, I was fine. So they were sent there, or came there and volunteered to heal me, apparently, so I was fine.
Did you feel any of the sensation when it actually came to you, the spirit at Belk's? What did you feel? And did you feel anything different within that visit?
I was feeling a little bit something like indigestion when I went. And coming back, I was feeling a little worse. And it didn't really hit me full blast until probably about 30 minutes after I got back. And then it really hit me. My hips were hurting, my back was hurting, I had real severe indigestion, just all kind of little symptoms. Even called my boss and said, "Hey, I'm going to bed." And she called me back in a few moments and said, "Have you gone? Did you lock the door to the spa?" And I said, "No, I feel fine now." So it was over. And for the rest of the day, I feel great. So it was a test or something going on there.
Well, it's good that you're able to be here with us.
Thank you very much. I'm glad to be here.
What about you, Michael? What's been going on this week?
Well, this week the energies have really been, I could use the word challenging as well, but also it's as if a whole different perspective is kind of come into the picture of myself. I'm experiencing my human self like so different. This week it was very, on certain levels, clear with people. It was very clear with, for example, let's give an example, because that was when you came off the show and we said, "How are you doing?" and you all doing. Even in that moment when you said, "I'm fine, I'm well," I'm here with you all that I know very well, and that just kind of switched me. It's like, no, that's not the truth. What's really going on in there? And my whole week has kind of been like that. It's like, what is really going on? When I have a communication with somebody, I can see what's going on, and I'm seeing it more clearly with other people than I ever have before. It's almost like being able to see through whatever the picture that's been put up. I can see it a lot clearer, and there's a part of me that just wants to go, wait a minute, is that really what's going on with you, or is that the truth? And so I'm learning for myself, when is the time to really go there and when just let it go kind of situations. But this week was really intense with some of those experiences with people of speaking truth, kind of giving them back what they were giving, as so to speak, as far as saying one thing, as kind of pushing my button and then just giving them truth back, not getting caught up in it, but just putting truth right back out. So I've noticed a big switch with me this week with that. It's been very powerful. And it felt challenging, but at the same time, I just feel like I just had to surrender to it, not get too much into what it was. So it's been real interesting like that.
When you did that, spoke your truth to someone, do you think that it made them question why you said that and maybe look into themselves a little bit more than they normally would have?
Well, one of the co-workers that I was around, and I said something, and something was said to me which felt like it was trying to push my buttons in a very strong way, but I don't even know if they were aware of it or not, but it just came out. And so I just said back my truth in a way that I wasn't trying to push back. I was just saying what was from my perspective. And I noticed in that moment that there was a huge energetic, emotional wave from that person when I said that, but it didn't faze me one bit either way. You know, I was just speaking truth. I wasn't putting on a front or trying to jump around or skip around a beat, of the subject. I was just getting right to the core of the matter in pretty simple terms. But I noticed this week I just had this inner, everything wanted to go to simple terms right to the core with things, not jump around and skip around. And I have a few people in my life, and I'm just going to say I used to be very much that way when I was doing a lot of things in my life as far as in the corporate days when I had so much on my plate, and I know what that was like to be skipping around, but I'm so don't feel that way anymore. And when I can sit in front of somebody and they're jumping and almost walking in circles, following their tail, so to speak, in a conversations, and I just sit there and, just observe and see what they're really trying to get at. And sometimes there's something clear that I can give to them, and sometimes I just have to observe and just observe that it's okay where they are in that little confusion. The word that came to me was little tornado. They've got their own energetic tornado that they've created in their life, and I think we've all had them at certain points, but now I just can feel like I can sit and watch their tornado and not get sucked in it. Can sit and observe the tornado. And this week there was something that just really switched with that. It's hard to even put it all into words. Does that make sense?
It does. Well, this week has been an interesting week for me as well. As I've been out and I was gone for 2 days here from the house, and so I was out visiting other people, which was a very awakening time to be with new people that I had never met before. And I talked about this our last show, and it turned out just really great. I had a lot of fun doing that. And when I came back in, it was just like to my home. It was like I was just sitting there, and I was just like in a rest type state. And then a lot of energy just around my head, and I just said, okay, it's time to lay down. And I'm waking up like 4 hours later. And it's been a very restful time for me this week, but it's also been a situation of, I'm pretty much with you on stepping into the energy. I went into a place later on in the week that I knew these two people, and it's like I absolutely could not even stay in the same room with them. I mean, I walked in there, I was there for 3 to 4 minutes and had to just drop something off to a friend of mine, and I could not wait to get out of the building. And it was like, I've been there, done that, don't want to be there anymore. And I need to just be with myself and just take in whatever this new energy is that I'm feeling. And I'm not getting into it. I'm really not. I just acknowledge it. And I know that whatever that it is, it's going to be okay. But this is totally a different type of year as far as the energy feel from me. It's totally switched on that. How about you, Mr. Braswell?
You know what I heard from both of you there, in other words, it's enhanced your ability to see the difference between real issues that you should address and be part of and drama.
Totally.
It's letting you see the drama much more. And I think that's what I got, especially when you were talking about not being sucked in.
Mm-hmm.
And that just clued me right away. All the people this week and other times that I've seen it, before I would become part of whatever it was they were discussing. I'd become part of it. Sometimes even take on responsibility when I shouldn't for some of it. And now I look and I say, whoa, I don't want that. That's drama. I'm not going to go there. And you realize much more, too, that people you had never really attached to being drama oriented, or all of a sudden you see them as drama oriented.
Oh,
and
yes,
you say,
totally.
oh my goodness, I don't even want to go there. I don't even, and you leave. Usually, like you said, Lee, you don't want to be there, so
No.
you'll leave. You'll come up with your, see you guys later, and you'll be out of there.
I'm very glad that you said that, because I had not put it in that thought pattern in my head, and that really puts it in the right perspective. And that's why I'm feeling that way. And my instinct was to just walk out of the room, but that gave me more clarity of why I felt that way. Not to get into the trauma of it anymore. And I have been very vocal as well this week with a couple of friends of mine to really step out and see who they really are and to take on the responsibility. Because in the past, I've had quite a few people that call every week, or they call, bi-weekly, once a month, whatever, and ask this or ask that. And it's like I just really don't have the feeling right now to want to go there. Not be rude with it, because I definitely don't believe in rudeness at all with anything, but to just be kind and take another point of view with it, to where it can turn the question they're asking around for them to look at, and not for me to give the information of what I might think at that time, because it's up for them to find it out, not me. And I think that we're all at this table finding out a lot of things about ourselves. It helps when you have a partner that you can actually go to and talk about it, because we have conversations between us throughout the week, and it's kind of reassuring at times with that. But other than that, I just really don't want to go too in depth with any of it. We're just in that spot right now. Now, this might change. I'm not saying it won't, because I think that sometimes it can totally change from day to day based on the feeling that I've got with the energy compared to 2012. It can change from moment to moment. But I'm not in a pattern of any sort, really. It's just like I can go to bed one night and I can sleep 14 hours, and then 2 nights later not sleep 3. Whereas in my normal sleep pattern, it would be 7 to 8 hours, and then I would be over it. But that is changed as well. It's pretty exciting to see that every day could be a totally different day in the way that you feel and the energy that you feel with that. What has been consistent with me is a huge amount of energy that is going around my head, and that in itself has been coming every day to an extent. Some more than other days as far as strongness, but it has been coming.
But in all the years that I've known you, you've been one where you feel the energy in your head a lot.
Absolutely, but this year has been more intense than it's been before. Much more. It's always been from the neck up area for me, but this year is just much more intense. It's like having a tornado going around your head. Just as you can't even imagine the speed of it, of what it was as far as the intensity of this year versus even the 2012 intensity of that.
I'm going to say it in different words. The way that, or the way that I'm hearing it when I'm listening to you, I'm experiencing this year's energy as very raw, very get to the point of the matter, very clear. It's almost like the veils are lifting on certain levels and certain experiences to the point where you have to be with whatever's going on in your life, whatever things have brought you to where you are at this very moment. All of the challenges are coming to the surface or have come to the surface. Present them to you, and there's a level of acceptance to whatever is that's deeper than I've ever experienced before. I even feel it on just a raw, like everything's just very raw to me this year, more than I've ever experienced it in my whole life.
And when you say raw, what does that word raw mean to you?
It means strong, intense, clear. The colors are brighter. Everything's stronger. The energies of everything, mind, body, spirit, are stronger. There's more awareness. It means a lot of things, but I feel it. It's a feeling word to me, where everything is felt. Like everything is felt to me. Whereas maybe before I would think a lot about a lot of things, whereas now I really feel everything. You know, I'm aware of my feelings about everything and the interconnectedness with my thoughts. But I do my best to be in the moment of the feelings and not stay out in the thought process. Just kind of come down to my heart. I've also really noticed that my heart space this year has felt very clear. My head space has been feeling like it's going through a lot of detoxification. Like my thoughts, sometimes they'll just go absolutely swarming of all kinds of thoughts, and then it'll go away. But if I bring my energy or my feeling down from my head to my heart, I feel very at peace and calm and level. But if I stay up in this place in my head, then the thoughts are very strong and it's kind of swirling around. And so I do my best just to kind of come down into the human heart space, and it's a lot more calm for me. But it's just, I guess raw, to be really clear, is just I feel everything. And it's amplified more than it's ever been before. It's like another dimension added to it, like a depth could reach through.
You just mentioned two things. One, reason I think you're coming down, as we all are, coming down to the heart space and calm, that's where the love center is. So you're attuned and becoming more attuned every day to love, the frequency of love, for self more than for others. That's why you're coming down here. You're becoming calm and you feel everything because you're feeling it from love. You're not feeling it from ego, from the mind at all. When you're up high and everything's hectic, multi-processing, you're feeling up there from ego, from your mind. But down here, when you come down, and I've noticed that with me a lot lately too, and I didn't realize it till you said it how you did. You're feeling it from love. So you're becoming more a creature of love, but for self-love.
You just brought up another really interesting point that hit me with that, is from some lessons that I've really been through these last couple of years, is sometimes when I used to meditate, I would move up, into the higher energy fields, the higher vibrations through my higher chakras. And in that moment, I feel like I've transcended the ego. In that moment of being in a very high vibrational place, connected more clearly to my soul, at that time, it felt very clear. And, it's in a higher vibrational, higher dimensional space. But at the same time, my heart space wasn't clear. So you can go up and out and go and meditate and do all of these things and be blah, 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 blah. And you can be this ungrounded spiritual on your spiritual journey to where all you are is you going out. And that was a part of my spiritual journey, and just really getting to the place now that I really understand that I spent so much time going out because there was so much in my heart that was difficult for me to really be with. And so the process on my spiritual journey of being in the present moment is coming back to where I can be centered in my heart and still be able to move and travel deeply in this human world and into the different dimensions of life, and come back and be totally present when I'm here. Because when you said that, it just like something clicked to where I just saw all of these years of how when you can go up and out, that doesn't mean that you're present. That doesn't mean that you're spiritual or more spiritual. Just because you meditate doesn't mean anything. If you learn a lot of these absolutely amazing spiritual and yogic breathing and all the stuff which can take you into these higher vibrations. And I can tell everyone here, because all in one moment, all that was just snapped and the whole thing crumbled right before me to where I couldn't even do it for quite some time. And it took me now to really understand the process was because I had gone so up and out in these high vibrational places that I couldn't withstand it in my body anymore. And so all of that had to crumble for me to really work on my heart to where I could handle it in the body. And when you sang that, it just all just clicked. Boom, 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 boom. All these little light bulbs went off.
You know, that's funny because I've never considered that I meditated as much as other people. And I always wondered why. Why don't I meditate like all these other people are meditating? Why don't I spend an hour a day meditating? And you just said it right there. You can meditate or you can go into spirit and you can go to these higher vibrational frequencies, but that's not where you are. You can't stay there.
Can't hold it.
You can visit a little bit. And then you come back down to where you're supposed to be. Just what you said, your heart center. That's your vibration. That's your self-love. That's what you filter or should be filtering everything through. And the other thing, if I may, energy. It's all about energy anyway. And these new energies coming in are enhancing. I call one of them your drama alarm. And what it is, it lets you notice. If you'll notice people that you've discovered get into drama a lot, they don't even like being around other people who get into drama. They feel it. They just haven't become enlightened or reached the point where they realize that they're involved in it because they're still coming from ego a lot. But when they get around other people who are into drama, their energy is not compatible with it because of the new energies have automatically helped them, whether they realize it or not. So now that lower vibrational energy of drama is not there for them. And it bugs them. They have to get away, like Lee had said a while ago.
That's really powerful, what we just talk about, because I want to throw this out there, because there's a lot of people out there that don't meditate at the level that would allow you to do what I was just talking about. I spent years meditating, and I would meditate for hours and use all kinds of yogic principles and kriyas and things which would allow me to move up higher in the vibrational place. But when it really got down to it, I couldn't hold that vibrational level. And it took a lot of work to do that. But sitting here now, I understand that whole process of what I went through, and I'm very grateful for it.
Well, I used to meditate every day several years ago. And to the point that the chair that I was in would just vibrate even when I wasn't in a meditation state. But I would spend 1 hour, and that was it. That was about an hour thing for me. And that helped me to get going on the spiritual path, but it did not put me there. I personally think that it takes a lot of things to put you there. I was definitely a book reader, and I read books, and I could finish a book up in a week. There for a while, I was all into reading the books, and I got a lot of knowledge from other people that I appreciate to today. I don't think a lot of times it's all around just one thing. I think it's a combination of a lot of things that you go through to get to where you're at. For the past, in 2012, I would say the last 9 months of 2012, I did very little meditation, period. It was not it was not where I felt like that I was needing to go. If I was in some type of a classroom or in a circle or wherever that I was, of course, somebody, went there, then I did as well. But that was not my normal daily routine anymore. I believe that when you finish a step, you're pretty finished with that step. I think you've been there just as long as you need to be there.
Yeah, totally.
And I will have to say that in 2013, I have meditated 3 times. And all 3 times it was with a totally different way of doing it. It just came and said, okay, this is the way that it is. But all 3 times, in the middle of it, I got so sleepy, I had to just go out. And I was out one time for about 4 hours, another time 2 hours. And when I woke up, it was just vibration. I just felt the vibration in my whole body there. So I don't get into my head about it. Because my thought pattern with this is that whatever I get is what I receive, and that's just what it needs to be. So I don't go into any more depth than that with it, and I just know that this year has been quite different for me than the 2012 energy. Mm-hmm. 2, I agree with what Michael Braswell says. Totally out of the drama of anything that's drama. It doesn't interest me anymore with people. It's just like I just try to just step out of it. And, I think that's just the way that it is. People have their own way that they need to get into their own self, just like we have gone through a lot of practices to do that. And, you will do whatever you can, but the other person has to take the step to go there. Now, I've had people that call me this year, really more this year than I did last year, to want to do a lot of work to help them this, that, the other. It absolutely does not even interest me.
Well, I think what the core of everything that we're saying is to really listen to whatever your heart is guiding you to do in your life.
And trust it.
Because as Lee was saying, I mean, to me, every part of life is spiritual. Mm-hmm. Every part of life is being on the spiritual journey. Every part of it. And yeah, we got into this long discussion about meditation, but I learned some amazing lessons from all of that in my personal life of what the drive was for me. There's a lot of powerful lessons, and some of you may be inspired to spend hours in meditation, and some may not. And it may come in cycles. And whatever it is, and it's just wonderful. But I really, truly believe that the core of what we're talking about here is listening to your heart and following your heart with what you're guided to do. And truly listen to it and take an action steps, because we've also gotten into a lot of discussion here of this week of assisting different parts of our lives and people and friends and all kinds of things with when you say you're going to do something, you just have to do it. I know that I've had several circumstances in my experience lately when people where it's been so important, you either do it or get off the pot. You just have to do it. It's you can talk until you're blue in the face, but sometimes the action steps are what are actually going to deliver and manifest for you the important parts. And I think that's been Another part of this energy we've been talking about is just being real clear with people on that kind of stuff.
What is the answer to any prayer? An action. If you pray for something, or you pray thanking Creator for something, usually you do something after the prayer. You either do it toward getting what you ask for, or you do it because you're enjoying doing it because you thank God for you already having it. But I think the answer to any prayer is an action of some kind.
And another word that you could use as well is a change.
Yeah.
Sometimes a change may be in order.
Very good.
Lee, you look like you're thinking
today.
over there.
I am thinking. I'm thinking because I just wrote something down on my piece of paper.
Way going deep, aren't we?
We're going deep today.
I wondered what the hum was in the air.
No, I'm listening very well today. I was going back with the heart skilp. There has been times that when the energy, as we was talking about before, I've always had a lot of energy in my head, but I have noticed that on two different situations, really in the past, I would put last 10 days, that it will suddenly just stop, and I can feel something down in the heart that's like my heart skips a beat. So I've not had that feeling before. It's like the heart almost stops for just a second, and it's just like an extra beat, and it's almost like a pounding beat on the heart.
Palpitation kind of thing.
It is like a palpitation type of thing with me.
I've had
And
it.
I've really thought, wow, this is really something new. It's always around the new for me as far as learning something new. And this year has just been fascinating thus far for me because that's been a first. And you're right, I hadn't put it in the palpitation type thing, but it just goes down and it goes, and it just hits me real hard, just like you're putting a paddle on you, if your heart just stops beating. It feels like that type of a surge that goes through me. And then I feel calm.
So
just calm.
So I have a question for you to maybe help understand what that is. So what when that happens to you, what's going on? Do you have a sense of, is it a release? Is it an awareness? Do you become all of a sudden in awareness of something on your heart? Because I have something I'd like to ask everybody out there after you answer that question.
I personally feel that it's a releasement of something that's been within me that is totally gone because I didn't need it anymore.
And with that was my thought pattern. I'd like to ask everybody out there, because this show, we seem to kind of be getting to the heart of matters with people, the heart within ourselves, the core of things today. I'd like to ask everybody out there, and it's coming to me from the years of being so afraid of wanting to leave this body from the time that I was a little child all the way, for many years. My life just feels like it's been gently lightening my heart all these years of being okay here, in a body. And what I've realized and what I've learned from that is, if at any time we're uncomfortable going to the heart of who we are, or even feeling our hearts, what's going on in our hearts, there's something there that's ready to be looked at. And so I'd like to ask everybody out there to take a moment to feel your heart. And all you do is just put your awareness on your heart area, the center of your body, that space, and just feel, do you feel anything heavy there? Is there anything that's unresolved there? And if so, what is the first thing that comes up for you? Is it a person, a relationship, a choice that's on your heart? What is it? and give that decision or whatever is on your heart, give it some attention. Put your attention on it and be open to taking an action step or even praying about it first, as we were talking about, Michael Braswell was talking about. It feels like it's a very important time to do that. And even if what comes up on your heart is joy, give that joy notice and just be present with it. Enjoy it. This year to me is also about the word delicious comes to my mind, like really feeling that each and every experience, the deliciousness of it. That's another thing, I was talking about, you were asking me what raw means to me. It means tasting, touching, feeling, just getting myself to experience pleasure around whatever that experience is. Because I think there's a lot of in this human life, there's a lot of different ways to experience deliciousness and pleasure. So I'd like to put that out there for everyone to really connect with what's going on in your heart right now, in this moment right now. And if you need to write it down, write it down. Pray about it. Pray for an answer or an action step that you can take that's for the highest good of all. And so it is.
It was very well said. You mentioned too, reminded that last year was the year of releasement. And I would say that 2013, when you enter into the new energies, the calmer energies, the delicious enjoyment energies, if you've gone through 2012 and you've released what you need to release, this may be your year to go to your reward and leave this body. I've noticed a lot of people have done that. A lot of animals, being very intuitive, loving creatures, have chosen to leave. You can see that on Facebook or any other social media, people speaking of lost ones and lost pets. And I would suggest that when you do lose someone or a pet in this new year, look to your heart and see the joyful side of them being with the Creator, them being where there's only love, peace, and joy. And don't grieve for long, because grieving them will hold them here or tend to keep them from going to the light, because they will then sense something being left undone. So don't over grieve. Grieve for your loved ones, the ones that have gone, the pets that have gone, but release them in the grieving. Release them to their reward, and fuss at them for beating you there, because they got to go to that next. They got to go to there before you did, so they know now the love, peace, and joy that you haven't experienced yet. They've gone back to who they truly are. They've reconnected with what they truly are. Be joyful of that. Grieve on a human level, but don't let your grieving override the real thing about them leaving. The peace, the love, and the joy. And they've met their contract here. Whatever they came here to do apparently is gone. So let them go. And thank God for taking them and letting them be with Him. And ask Him that whenever it's His time for you to come, that you'll be ready.
That's beautiful. And just as you were finishing up talking, I just had this thought come in, and it was just like, what does enlightenment mean to you? What does it mean to be enlightened? And the answer that came to me was that when the mind the heart and the body merge as one. I hadn't really thought about it quite like that, but that just popped into my...
It's a total self.
Yeah. The oneness.
It's the total self of who you are.
That's weird. That's neat, because of what it hit me was what you're saying. Not only are you part of the oneness, but you're also part of your own oneness.
Yes.
Because people don't realize you've got, it's a trinity within you.
Mm-hmm.
The macro and microcosm, there's the the bigger oneness and the, different experiences of the oneness.
When I was able to really go into loving me unconditionally, I was able to release a lot of different things in 2012, which I felt like that would happen, and it did. It was like the last 3 months of 2012, there was so much of a shedding that took place in family and friends that had been around for a long time. Whatever needed to be done, I concentrated on just really going there and leaving that place that I had been for years and shedding it away with total love, of moving it out. You can get yourself so heavy with others, it's very difficult for you to move on your own into the spot that you were born to be as a spiritual being. When you can get your mind to a place that you know that you are the one most important person, and you can stay within you and send love out, that's what it's all about. It's total freedom. The last quarter of last year was freedom for me. This year, I'm now in the motion of going in to the now for me, of the visions, the energy, the love that I have to be able to send out all over the universe and more, whatever's out there that I don't even know. The feeling is totally a different place for me. And what a switch that is. You don't lose your whole being, because it's not supposed to be that way, because God put us here the way that we are. But the thought patterns switch. And the one word is always love. You love all. You can have differences with people. You can have whatever that's going on with you in energy, but always think toward there is love. And that's very much the heart. That's why I feel like that the energy in the head that's always been, because I could go way out just like you, Michael. We went way out.
Mm-hmm.
And it was fun. But now it's been in a whole self and a whole body of being who you are and what you have within you to give out more than just in the nucleus of the family that you've had.
Mm-hmm.
That's what it is to me.
And what's interesting, when you were talking, I saw this picture of like you in the middle and all these people all the way around, and these cords connected from heart to heart all the way around. And that what you were describing, the process that you went through, I just saw like it spiraled around, the cords just melted all the way around, leaving you in the middle, your heart brighter than it was before because the energy wasn't draining out to all of these. And what was left is this brighter aura and this being that was just brighter and lighter. And it just, I think that's what a lot of people, the process of loving self is letting go. And with that comes a greater love. And then feeling the oneness like we're talking about, feeling instead of having the need to do and be and do, fix everything for everybody and be a part of those little things. It's releasing everybody to their own greatness, and then we can support one another in the way that is for the highest good. That's the freedom scenario, like what we were talking about. That's the vision that I saw
right
after
and
you
that's
were talking.
and I think that is a great vision of the way that I have felt. What you just said is exactly how I've felt, because I have been a magnet for people. It's just like it's amazing. I was told one time by one of my very good friends, Bobby Drennan. He says you can walk in a room, and if there's 3,000 people there, there's 3,000 is going to be wanting to get to you. He said that's just the way it is. He said it's like a light that walks in, and they're just absolutely just migrating towards you. So that's where you have to get within yourself and keep yourself in the order of who that you are on your spiritual path, because that will always be. It will be there because the light is so strong that there's an attraction there for people just to come. I have seen that. And and when you're looking at that, as far as on the human specter of that, there's a lot of gratitude that I have for that. But I also have learned in the energy of 2013 that you have to go into yourself and be able to push it out and let it go. Because the light that you push out is absolutely going into all the other people that's around you. You don't have to soak it all in. Now I'm into putting it out. And if it's separating from people that I have been attached to, then that's what it'll be. Mm-hmm. Because to me, when we get into the word, and it's going to be used loosely, of purpose, the purpose is to love all, not just the nuclear of who's around you. And that's much, much larger of a purpose.
Mm-hmm. That's beautiful. Well, y'all, we have really gotten deep today. I'm kind of speechless.
And Michael Braswell, he's over here, and he looks like he's
going to wrap us up over there.
He's going kind of out over there, and there's something I think very important that he needs to say. I feel it.
We speak of energies, plural. There's only one energy, and that energy is love. God made everything out of his love. And if you're a Reiki practitioner, if you're a healing touch practitioner, no matter what kind of healing practitioner you are, the energy you're using to help facilitate that healing with that person is love. Connecting with the oneness externally of you is blocked if you don't connect with the energy of love within you. We speak all the time of this self-love. And the door that opens self-love, as we've said before, is self-forgiveness. Forgive yourself. Let all that go. There's nothing you need to forgive yourself for. God doesn't need to forgive you for anything. Once you feel that self-love, you can connect to the love that's around you. You can connect with the love energy that's in others. That's the true connecting to the oneness, is connecting to there. And until you release your self-love, that energy of love within your heart, which is your love center, once you can connect that self-love out, your self-love connects with other self-loves, because there's only one self-love, because you're all one. So I just wanted to say, let your self-love go. Let it go.
And so it is.
So it is. Lots of love to you all. Have a blessed week, and we will talk to you next week.
See you then.